So here, and then all the cross membranes.
You want to set up a square.
This one.
Oh, these.
So it'd be the first one and the last one. And then the far.
So there, yeah. Good.
Yeah, my kids can.
Idiot proof.
My kids will connect.
Oh, so just the numbers and the colors.
match colors
and the
across.
colors. So yeah.
Ooh, green.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Now, what about this part here?
That'll stay connected. All this will stay connected. So this is the only thing that you have to hook up. Of course, you can make sure these are tight.
so make sure the connectors are tight on the motor.
These are here tight on the motor. They like to work loose.
Okay. Everything here is connected except the motor, right?
Everything will be connected except for that pedestal.
So that's where it comes in black, red, yellow.
Black, red, white is the colors we have on that.
And the green goes to
And the
neutral.
green is ground, yeah.
Ground. Hold that in.
Get your ground.
So he has the little village gear.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got the ground in there.
Ground hooked up.
11 to 1.
Yeah, my tip left me though.
Yeah, that's my favorite screwdriver.
Is it? Yeah, it usually is.
Go ahead, so reset and then what?
Payout mode.
Payout, that's when you
Payout is when you're actually making material and it feeds to the machine automatically.
So once you hit payout,
As the machine pulls material off the PD7, it raises these arms. What's your hand there? And as it raises this arm, it rotates.
Oh.
The higher it goes, the faster it goes.
Whoa.
Material for you.
That's
So it's
cool.
basically in perfect alignment with the machine.
Okay, so it's
That's what I was concerned about.
so we gotta install that little gadget.
Of course.
That, yeah.
sensor,
This
yeah.
is this.
This is your sensor,
Right.
So is that in a box someplace?
Yeah, it'll be in the box on the PD7.
Oh.
That's how we ship that. We usually wrap it up in some white stuff.
So how do we bolt it? Just like that?
Just like it is. Just like it
Bam.
is. This whole thing will be
already
connected.
preset.
So all you got to do is land that there, and then land this here, and then you still will want to preset it. Our floor is a little crooked, so when it's set level on the floor, of course you don't want it to run. So when you set it, just go ahead and pick that up a little bit, and as soon as it starts going, then that's where you want to.
So with the green light right there, that means it's
That's
ready to
payout.
roll.
That's
Payout. So that's when you start making money. Payout.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Rewind.
So we're gonna bring this material back, and you have a jog forward or a jog reverse.
Oh, okay.
Forward is being paid out on this machine,
So basically you're in the manual mode.
manual mode.
Manual mode, okay. That's pretty cool. It's computerized. This little gadget right here. That's next level. And I like how smooth it controls.
Variable drive motor.
Oh, it popped out.
Yeah, it wasn't in the machine all the way.
That's okay. We'll learn to load the coil
So rewind is
Got
just a
it.
feature on there that
to help you get the coil up there. No?
because we're in jog mode. You probably never use rewind. Rewinds if you have another features. So when you adjust that pot up and down, this voltage will change. It should go from 0 to positive or negative depending on which direction you have the payout set. With the payout reverse, this is going to go the other way when you pay out.
see.
We're going this way.
Yeah.
Okay?
So if you want to change the side that the material.
Okay. Some
The top one
machines,
is the idle pressure. The bottom one is the running pressure.
that's right.
Okay.
And generally, We set these at about, maybe 22 to 2,500 PSI.
Okay.
The gauge is on the very end of the machine.
On the face of the machine. No, it's on the face. Right there.
22 to 25.
So it has to be about 2,500 PSI. 22.
Okay, let me finish. Then there is a relief valve that's in that valve stack. And it's generally set at 2,000.
Okay.
So if it gets over 2,000, it's gonna just open up and dump that pressure to tank. Okay? Depending on how we set your machine up, it may be set up with an idle pressure or it may not, I don't remember. You need to change that.
So when it's in the red, change it.
Yeah.
So that answers your question.
Yep.
In terms of time.
Yep.
Well,
Just like
for the filter only.
for the filter.
Yeah.
That's your oil right here, so you can see the color of the oil right there.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll turn like slightly like brownish.
This
Give
is-
me from a home screen.
This is your main screen.
There you go. Okay.
Okay. And right now it says servo fault C diagnostics, power loss on axis. That's because we have heat stuff on.
Okay.
Okay, so if I pull this, same
Reset.
thing as with the decoiler.
Reset it.
Reset it.
Servo fault, C diagnostics. Power loss.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
good.
It says machine status, manual mode idle. Okay. It says BB run, which is normal, motion ready, PLC and run.
Okay.
That's normal. Power lost on axis, see? Because when I hit that, it cuts power to it.
So I can hear that.
You can hear that mag pull in when I press that reset button. Let's clear that error again.
You know what a Mac
So you do have to clear errors.
You know
Yeah.
what a Mac cooler is? Mac cooler? Okay, he doesn't know what a Mac cooler is. It's just like a contactor. So it charges
Manual.
Okay? If I was to put this in auto,
Ah.
and that turns green.
Nice.
All right. This is where you add parts to the queue. This is just a crimp cycle button. You can turn the pump on or off here.
I like it.
So you turn the pump on and you look for leaks.
Well, yeah. Now, see, this one has been set with an idle pressure. So right now it's probably running around 1,000.
1,000, yeah. 980.
But the operating pressure is set at 2,000. You probably never see that gauge go to 2,000
Which is fine, normal.
because these strokes are so fucking short and so fast. Excuse my language. Here-
Manual page, okay.
Okay, and you'll notice we still have a manual mode button here. If I put it in auto, you cannot do any manual functions.
Got it.
Okay? So if you come here, you're over here, okay? And you go right to here and you go, oh, damn it, I can't do anything. Something's wrong. No, you need to get it back into manual mode.
Got it.
You can do things like cycle to shear, cycle to crimp. You can do a different elbow function. There's A1, A2, B1, B2.
So they're pre-programmed.
Yeah. Now,
Like for offsets. If we want to make offsets, where do we go?
well, I'll show you that. Let's just
Different
get through,
screen, okay.
Let's just get through this stuff. You can jog the machine forward and backwards.
Is it recommended to jog it backwards, or is it going to jam the machine?
Well, they chain forward and back no matter what. This one
Handheld.
is your handheld jog.
So you want to activate
Now
that.
you can make that go reverse.
Got it. Okay, so by clicking that, it goes to your handheld control.
Yep.
So that's what you want for feeding the coil.
You want forward.
You want forward, and you want the handheld, and you go and feed the coil.
Yep.
Got it.
So if I do this, now see the pump turns on. jog this.
Nice.
If I want to jog it backwards,
Well, we don't want to jam it over there.
it's stopped.
So it only jogs a little bit?
And if I hit it again, it'll jog another 9
Ah, that's smart.
inches. Okay.
No, that's fine. I got it.
So you don't want, this one could be a little bit tighter.
So you just want to make sure it's
Just barely
a
wiggle.
little wiggle. Jam it in there. Is there a button? Oh, I'm like, oh. I thought there was a button.
He said it's really tight. And that's
So now it's going really slow. So we're a little bit off right there, but that's fine.
That's fine.
yeah,
So you're over on that edge,
a little bit over on this side. Yeah.
but it's fine, you said.
We're talking
Yeah,
some
130
machines
seconds.
we have to set a little bit offset depending on how they run.
So what are we looking for here?
Here
Make
you're
sure it
going
doesn't jam.
Into the
That was really close right
That
there.
was close,
That
yeah.
was really close.
Yep.
But it came through.
Yep.
So we're basically in the safe zone now.
Well, you got
There's one more section right
One more?
here. See that right here?
Oh, look at that.
Oh, beautiful.
So that's where your cover needs to be off. Because
yeah.
if you jam that,
You don't have to have it on. If you're having problems, you might want to open it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I could have done this with the cover closed.
if it's set and you know it's
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
been okay.
You have to have a lot of pressure on these bolts.
The one we have is a little bit different.
I don't
right?
know what it is about this customer steel, but I had a slight roping problem. You can barely see it there.
Ah, okay. Right here, dude.
And it's on the back side of it.
So,
10 to 15,000.
2650s.
The
That's
bigger
for
you
the
have
help.
these, the better off you are. But if they get too big, then it's not going to seem right.
You said 0.2E, I think was the.
Yeah. So, in order to adjust those, you have to move these rollers.
oh, that was loose.
Okay. And there's a little section in your manual on how to adjust these. The biggest thing is these, since this material is laying lower, you would want to move this in and just a little bit down. Okay. These, the material's sitting up like this, so you're going to adjust more up and down than you are in and out.
I see.
Okay. These are jack screws. This screw goes through this into this bar. These sit on top of the bar. So once you get these set, you pull the bar up to these. If you want to move it up, loosen these, tighten this. You move it down, you loosen this, and push it down with the outside ones.
And they got the stainless steel hardware. That's badass. That's
Now-
super cool.
One thing I want you to look at is if you look down over these rollers, you'll see that they're cocked
Camber, yeah.
to follow the edge of the material. So that's kind of tricky. You got to keep
Yeah,
an
I
eye
see
on that.
the bevel right here, brother man.
If you
So look
ever
at the
loosen
bevel.
these,
See
you
right
want
there?
to make sure that that lines
Follows.
up with the flow of the. Just do a shear cycle and jog it forward a little bit. Shear. Okay. Alright, this is Hercules.
Guess we're just gonna take this
All
off.
right, so we're taking that off. Did you guys include the tools for us or
No,
no?
buy your own. Go by Harbor Freight. Tell
Well-
one of my employees.
Well, in Portland, the problem we might
Snap. Harbor Freight?
the problem in,
Top card machinist.
the problem in Portland we might have with tools is they're biting tools.
Build the snap.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's not good at all.
See, the cool thing is, the older Harbor Freight tools, it was used to be American steel. They shipped all this recycled steel to China, and they made tools out of it.
All for the price you pay for them and the way we
This color right here.
Oh, now we're messed up.
Now we got some.
We're dropping bolts.
You centered.
So you got the big
center,
O-ring,
and then you just hand tight it afterwards.
hand tighten.
After you center the washer.
Okay, before making an elbow, first step,
Bring some material out.
print the material out,
I'm going to do a manual elbow
manual elbow,
bend.
A1.
A1. So that brings these 3 blades in.
Oh, A1 does a little interesting 360. So I'm gonna be like, oh, my machine is broken,
Nope.
but we're just doing a sample.
Okay?
Got it.
If that doesn't bend, you're going to have to adjust these dies in a little further by turning these to make the die go deeper.
So
If it bends-
this bolt right here, not this one, but this one. This one's loose
Okay.
actually.
Yes. This is a lock nut. So
That's a
once
lock
you're
nut.
adjusted, you want to lock those in
Lock
place.
them in.
You're going to loosen that, take a wrench, and turn the shaft of the cylinder to move these dies in and out. Okay? So,
No, sorry. How do I know if it's too much or not enough?
Like, does it crack or does it?
Where I need to know. It's like doing a wheelie on a motorcycle. I need to know where it's too much or not enough. Where's the balance point? So how do I know visually? Well, is there a quick little?
Can you back one out and show us a bad one, or you don't want
No,
to
you
screw
don't
up
mess
your?
with it.
well, here's what I'm going to do. Cut that. I got my speed set down to about 4 inches a second.
4 inches
Now
per
I just
second.
pop it over the die.
Do another one.
How does it bend it?
So you're making a manual elbow,
Yep.
which is super slow, but you're doing a test run.
Yep. Okay.
That is so fancy how
Now,
it folds in.
That doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty straight.
Yeah.
Okay. Making a decent elbow.
A very nice elbow, yeah.
So at this time, I know it's not going to crash. I know it's bending right.
You've did your first elbow. It's good to go.
Just, so at this point, I'm going to put it, I'm going to check my job setup. See, I'm going over this screen. Okay? Here's where you decide what you're going to make.
This is the fun part.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Right now we're set up for elbows,
Elbows.
standard elbows.
Standard elbow.
This says A2. We're going to do an A1. So see if I hit that. Now these choices come up. I pick A1 and I pick 75
Ooh,
degrees.
you can different.
Degrees.
Nice, yeah.
Okay. Yes, you can. They're not going to be exact. They're going to be close.
It's fine.
Fair enough.
Okay?
Do as I
Because
test them a little bit.
we set it up for a standard 75 degree elbow. Okay? The other ones, all they do is add or decrease bends. So you're never going to be exactly right. Your 75 is what you want to keep.
I see.
Standard.
So if I went to, see this says, gives me a lead-in distance, a trail distance, the distance between the crimps,
You can change that.
and the number of crimps.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay?
So
That is
3.5
cool.
inches.
Yeah.
You can make it shorter if you want to, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't go too much shorter because there's no strength at the end of the pipe without a little bit of section. It's gonna warp like crazy.
But crimps, you can add more crimps if you needed to on a special project or
Yes.
make some special
There's so
elbows.
much you can do here. It's gonna take you a while to figure it out.
I like it.
I'm gonna, okay. In order to change it, you touch it, Now you can change any of these. So here you can go from a minimum of 0.625 to a maximum
Of 1,000.
of 1,000 inches.
Wow.
So I could do a crimp and it'll run out 1,000 inches and do another crimp.
Wow. So what happens if you forget the numbers? Can you do a factory reset back to the original numbers?
Well, you're gonna have your setup sheets.
So setup sheet, and then you re-input the data.
Okay, and it says number of crimps.
Number of crimps, lead
Distance
distance.
between crimps.
And what I would have is like that sheet laminated at the elbow. Yeah. On the wall.
Okay.
Samples.
Yeah.
They have on the CD.
And gives you all the timing settings and the settings for the deal. Also says what dies are used.
Okay, so it's better not to mess with the settings.
Right, unless you want to.
You
You
thought
can
it
always
pre-programmed.
change them back.
Make all the elbows you want.
Well, that's what I mean. If you want to change it back, you have to refer to the manual.
I'll show you something else too. Okay, now if I go to 75, I haven't set these up, but 90 degrees, it changes to 10 crimps.
Because you want a
Because
90.
it's got to bend to 90.
Yes, sir.
right?
So you get 3 extra crimps.
Now you kind of understand what's going on.
Yep, yep.
60 degrees, 6 crimps. Okay. Okay, so now that's an A1. A2 is exactly the same, except it bends down.
So that's the video I showed you. It went up and then went down. That's
I'll show
the
you.
next level.
Yeah, I'll show you that. If you want to make pipe, you get out of the elbows, which lets you select elbow again or select downspout.
Look downspout, okay.
You put in the length of your pipe here.
10 feet. So we can do 20 foot if you want.
Let's see.
If there's demand for it. 2-story houses, right?
Or 3-story house, yeah.
It's really nice.
You got one piece section here. You
Yeah.
don't have to do seams or anything.
Right now, that is limited to 360 inches.
Between 60 divided by 12, what is that? I'll do the math real quick.
And you cannot change that, right? Looks like it's blocked out.
Yep.
30 feet long.
Oh, that's plenty.
Okay.
30 foot long continuous downspout.
That's the max you can do.
That's the maximum.
Oh.
Well, you don't want to forget it. And it
Go through a
goes
wall.
through Biden's house.
No one's gonna be
Go through your neighbor's shop.
Nobody's gonna be carrying those 20 footers. Maybe.
So
If-
20 feet, yeah.
That's good.
This is to turn on inline crimp. It says end crimp, no crimp.
So that engages that machine.
Now the reason I'm telling you this is because if you're here doing elbows and you need to run a straight piece of pipe, you can without changing that setup. But you're gonna have to take the pipe over here and crimp the end.
So
Okay?
you have it on the side, but this is just for transport.
Yes.
I put it right here.
Yeah.
I rebolted it.
Yeah.
Yep, I did that right there.
Okay? So if you're set up for elbows and you need to run a piece of pipe or a bunch of pieces of pipe, you can set it up and take them off the machine, crimp it. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay?
You don't constantly switch. You're just like,
And
Yeah.
then go back to making elbows again.
yeah.
All right, so that's your downspout.
Here's your grip right here. That's cool.
Okay? Let's go back to
Elbow.
elbows. This is your offset.
Offsets, yes sir.
We had to make
Offsets usually always start with an A1 elbow.
A1 offsets, okay.
Okay?
Yes, you can't see them.
This is the distance between
Now you can see this from the face.
your fascia board and your
So
house.
this is an 8-inch offset.
8-inch.
Okay.
Okay?
It's a preference.
These should be set
Skin a cat.
to exactly the same settings as your 75-degree elbow.
On the end.
Okay.
Okay? Because there's a calculation inside that uses that 75 degrees. And
Okay.
This,
Are you trying to make a crimp or something?
Yeah. I want to see how it will do a grip.
I think it's off right now. He has to engage it.
I want to see how it looks.
this goes in.
Wrong side.
Wrong side. I think the seam goes up. This is
Steel downspouts.
Yeah, it's a 24 gauge steel.
We have the better crimp. Let's just say that.
Huh?
We have the nicer crimp. I don't like these crimps. They're visible.
The formula in here, and it's specifically for bending offsets 75-degree elbows. Okay. This offset constant is used to change that formula to accommodate either a 3x4 or a 2x3 elbow, or whatever size pipe we're making. So that should never change.
okay.
You can just change this, of course, by touching it. Then you got to
Like a 4-inch offset.
Yeah. Well, now I don't know if it'll do a 4-inch offset on this machine.
On a 3x4. Because the
3x4.
downspout's 3x4 already.
Yeah.
Not enough space.
Not enough space.
On a 2x3 we can.
Maybe. I don't know. I've never tested that. Once you change these things, make sure you hit save. If you don't save it, the next one you're going to run is going to revert back to what it was before.
Factory setting.
Yeah. So that's your offset.
So when you save it, does it create a whole new file? Recipe?
Preset. Yep.
And then you can go back to the preset that you saved.
No, it's gone.
It's gone.
Whenever you save it, it overwrites the old.
Oh, okay. So it's better just stay with the
Well, you
factory.
can change it, but just know you got to go back and resave it. You're gonna
Yeah.
save yourself.
Now, let's get really complicated here.
Oh, Dima, that's you.
I like it.
Custom.
I
Custom.
like custom.
No, you won't. Okay. If I can remember this, it's been a while since
We
I
got
used
you.
this.
We'll take you out to lunch.
Yeah,
What's a good place around here?
I'll have Gay take you out. So the first thing you want to do is hit that button, okay?
So what we're doing here is we're creating a new file,
You're creating a custom file.
a custom file. That's why you don't need to override the factory one. You can create your own.
Exactly right.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. So here, if you hit it again, it's going to be in either A2 or a B1. Remember, you cannot do offsets with B's. Okay?
No offsets with these.
I don't think I've ever seen.
Only A elbows.
Huh, I'm wondering because
What about a 2x3 machine?
Nope.
Can I do it?
Nope.
I've seen them.
Well, it ain't off our machine.
so we cannot make B offsets
No.
at all.
No.
Can you manually crimp it and make it?
No.
You can make single B elbows and make an offset out of it.
Yes.
So you can say 3 crimps, single B.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can. It's just not going to be a double. It's going to be a single offset.
Oh yeah, the singles. If we can do singles, that'd be
Singles
awesome.
is fine.
I don't know what a single offset is.
What do you mean?
Well, just a single elbow, like a 45 and a 45.
So you're going to have to make one elbow.
Yeah.
Like
and
one of
it's-
these.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 45s and then.
That's
put them
basically an
together.
offset.
Yep.
It's just not double.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
So at
thank
this point,
goodness.
you have your choices. You can really get creative with this. You can change your lead distance. You can change the number of crimps. Remember, this is your first elbow. Okay? So right now, it's set to 3.5. It's going to come out 3.5 inches.
Which is the standard.
Yes. Now I'm going to set it to do 3 crimps.
3 crimps. That's basically we're making the offset.
Well, no, we haven't. That's just an elbow.
Just
right
an
now.
elbow, single.
Right now it is. This is the distance between the crimps. If you want to space those crimps out longer between the crimps, you change that.
That's in
There's
inches.
so much you can do here. That's cool.
Okay? So let's say, okay, that's what I want for my first part of that recipe. You can use that just to make elbows. Or you can add, of course, in order to add another one, you're going to have to change it to an A1 or an A2. What I do? I missed it. A1. Okay, down here is your trail distance. That's the very end of this
Of the elbow.
recipe that we're making. Okay, now I'm going to hit this, and now I can do another elbow.
Continuous.
Continuous.
Continuous. Okay.
All in one piece.
It's just gonna go in reverse, like
Yeah,
downward.
Yeah, if I
you-
change it to an A2, it's
if
going to
you-
go down.
It's gonna go down if you change to
If I
A2.
want to make an elbow that goes up and up,
So
these would all be
basically,
A1s.
you can make a continuous trough by changing the distance between the
distance and number of crimps. Each bend can be just
Like
different.
if we want to make, instead of having elbow and elbow, you can have a continuous
Yes.
and sell it to a customer
Well,
for
if you have like a 4-story house and you want a continuous,
continuous and a 10-foot downspout.
You gotta get the gaps.
So you can keep going through this up to 5 different.
That's where we saw the video how it went. That's how he did it.
That's how he did it.
Right there. It was in a custom mode.
Yep. Up here.
Cool.
So let's do one. Can we do one? We have enough material.
Don't grip it. Let's see.
Okay, let's do.
If we can make a trough, let's just say 1 foot between the spacing.
Okay, let's just
Right.
change this now back to an A1. And we'll make this.
We'll need to put it to.
The lead distance now is the distance between the last crimp of the first elbow
And-
to the first crimp of the second elbow.
Okay.
Okay?
That is really cool.
So I'm going to put in there 2 inches. Okay, and I'm going to put
Those are 3 crimps as well.
1 crimp. And I'm going to put the distance between those crimps. No, I'm going to put in. I'll do 3 again.
We're gonna have an even.
And I'm going to put the distance a little different here. I'm going to put it in at 1.5 between the crimps. Okay? Now we're going to do this. I'm going to change that to an A2.
Because we're gonna go down.
Yep. The distance between that, let's just put in 4.
Let's keep it the same, right? Because we want to have a consistent elbow. I want to see what happens. 3.
And we're
3.
gonna do 3.
We don't want it to hit the floor.
No.
Okay.
It's only a foot and a half.
Okay. Just for the hell of it, let's do another.
We're gonna need to make a video
A2.
of how that's. The other one's 11 years old. The video
Before you start the video, we're gonna record it. Okay.
before you start the machine. Yeah,
Well, I hope it works.
that's
Crimp distance.
next
I'm
level.
going to make this. What do I have it for that up here? 1 inch, inch and a half. Well, let's make that inch and a half. And then trail a distance of 3.5.
Okay, we're ready to.
So we got that recipe.
Make sure you click save, right? Or you don't want to save it.
Okay, this is a new recipe.
Oh,
Enter
okay.
name for new recipe.
Let's say Tony, toe and me.
This guy's gonna click Tony. He's gonna like, what is this?
What do I do here?
Save, bottom right.
How many recipes can you save?
See, now
There
it's,
it is.
now it's in there.
That's under the window.
How many does it hold?
More than you'll use.
Okay, fair enough.
That's cool. So you can make multiple custom recipes. That's cool.
Well, like if
That's
you have different
cool.
measurements,
That's cool.
yo, for the eaves, it's already preset. You just click the
So,
button,
yeah.
click do the job site.
I'm going to load Tony, and there
At
it
$500 per
you
house.
can do from 1 inch to 24 inches. It's preset.
is. If you
Yeah.
want to delete a recipe, you can delete it.
Okay.
You
Okay.
can just edit it if you need to, or you can't.
You
can
can
edit
edit it,
Click right into it and edit, and then
but
save.
you're going to have to resave it.
I see. Okay, sounds good.
Okay?
I
You like it?
Are we ready to roll?
Okay.
Now we're at 0.
Cycle start. Okay.
There. Continuous piece.
5 degrees. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We go to main. We're going to add that to the queue. Now, since the machine finished that elbow and it hasn't been moved manually, it knows where it's at.
Calibrated here.
So all we have to do is hit cycle start. Okay?
That's nice and quick.
Now you're gonna make an A2. A lot of people only make A1s. I don't know why, but we're gonna go back to job setup. We're gonna go in, change this to an A2.
So you're gonna go
75
down.
degrees.
That's all.
Yeah.
Yep. We're gonna go to main.
Oh, we don't want to see the seam, so.
We're gonna add that to the queue. Okay. And I'm gonna go to job setup. I'm gonna put in a downspout. I'm gonna put it in at 12 inches.
I personally like that you have A1, A2 option because I don't want to see the seam on the outside. It's, yeah.
And I'm gonna add that to the queue.
So when you add into the queue, it just puts it all into the one cycle,
Yeah, you can put several different things into there.
into
Now,
one cycle.
you cannot put a B elbow in
Well, yeah,
with an A
that'd
in
be
the queue.
that'd be a different crimp.
Yeah, different setup. So now I'm gonna go back
We're
to
just
job
working with
setup.
A's right now.
Okay,
A1, A2.
and I'm gonna put in an elbow. Let's see, what do I got? An A1? What do I have in there?
Where do you see your
Standard
list?
A2 75. Main.
So where do you see your queue
add the
list?
queue. Right here.
So we have 3 in the queue, and we have the
Yeah,
descriptions
if I
here.
wanted to, I could change this number
In quantities.
and say, like I want to make 30.
Okay,
If you hit that add to queue, it's going to add 30 parts into there.
got it. So 30 of the same pieces. Okay, so we're gonna make something right now.
Yeah, we're going to make it. Okay, offset. A1, 8 inches. Those are my standard elbows. Okay,
That's what I'm talking
so it
about.
actually goes this way.
Yeah, like that. The sensor.
You push that in, it's gonna fire up.
Is gonna fire the pump?
And you push your elbow in. You do anything to this hand, see now watch. If I go to move anything and it gives you time,
Pump's off. It says pump is on, but it's
no, hear the pump running?
yeah.
Okay. Now do you see how I did that?
Pump is off.
Pump's off.
Okay.
Nothing to move right now.
Okay.
But if somebody comes over here and pushes that, that's just to move that forward.
Okay.
It's not going to move it forward because the pump has nothing to do with that pipe moving forward.
Okay.
That's good.
So the pump moves it forward.
No, pump don't move it forward.
Okay.
The servo
jug.
motor makes it.
Okay.
This button,
The pump is what crimps it.
when it's in manual, which it is, you can move it with this or
Got it.
that.
Okay.
Okay. I think the biggest thing is this is the way we do it. You guys don't listen to what I just said. You got to do your safety shit the way you do your safety shit.
No, if it's for other people who run it, yes. But if it's tool owners or the people who've been around machinery,
I'm not gonna say.
I know, recommend it 100%. I used to work at Precision Cast Parts, work orthopedic and Intel. Yeah, so you do troubleshooting. Yeah. See, it comes undone.
Hey,
He drops it again.
bad boy.
So is that where the knife is located?
No, this is just your elbow blade.
This is just a crimp in
You're
there.
fine. That's fine. All right. Now, just so you know, labeled top.
Top.
Everything's
okay.
labeled on the top.
Yes.
Okay,
But it
so
might wear out, so we might have to engrave it.
I should have took a. I didn't make this machine, so usually it's stamped. Your machine.
Oh,
stamped. I
okay,
made
stamped.
this.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, this is your blade. This is your shear.
So did we mess up these by rotating? No. They can rotate. It's the bolt.
Sit there and spin them.
Got it.
That's why, whenever you make adjustments, you always should make these at least
Lock
finger
them
tight
in. Yeah,
a little
okay.
bit, you know, they don't have to be wrenched in or nothing.
Yeah. Just hand tighten.
Hand tight. Okay, so here's your shear. This is what we were looking at over at my desk.
Okay, Demo, we're looking at the shear. Demo. All right.
Okay, now you guys need to get pretty much in depth in this, right?
Yes, 100%.
All right, so let's get in depth. Back your material up.
Yeah.
Okay, so right here's the die. The next thing is that extraction plate I was telling you about. You set it off. Let me get some more fluid.
They got it dialed in. From the outside, they don't.
I'm supposed to take this apart. I just got to show you guys how to gap it. Okay. So, this is how you change your dies. I don't know if we showed you that.
No, not yet.
This is an elbow die. We'll go that one. We'll go from A to B.
So this is the A and B die.
No, this is an A die.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying the
Yeah,
the
right. This
switching.
is how you change your dies.
Okay.
A to B, yeah.
And you notice how long this bolt is?
Dang.
There's a reason for it.
I like it.
Look how long this is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one's
And
at
this
least
goes
3 inches deep.
this goes in that far
Yeah.
because it goes on here when you do an inline current, right? So that's why so every time you take this die off, you can motherfuck me if you want. I don't care. That's how it goes. Okay, now
I like it.
so right here's your expansion plate. I was telling you about with the springs. Now you got to be careful when you're taking shit apart and putting it together because stuff is shimmed. When this machine leaves this building, it'll be running in perfect condition. So everything on here is on here for a reason. It's not.
So look, there's a here. Look.
It's there to make it run right. I mean, you guys are buying a fucking Ferrari, so. Okay, so this is your expansion plate. There's springs in it. When the blades come down, that compresses.
Is there a top and bottom to this as
Top
well?
and bottom. See the relief?
Okay.
That's always your top in everything. See how it's wider there?
Yep.
See that gap?
Yep,
And
yep.
There's not one on the bottom.
Not one on the bottom. Okay.
Always relief on top because that's where your seam goes.
Got it.
Okay? Same thing on this die. See the relief? That's so when it folds, the seam has somewhere to go.
Somewhere to go.
Always on top. Okay, now, let me grab my... Think about this a minute. Just about everything you do on this machine with this plate, bringing it forward and backwards, it's backwards from what you think. Right? So this is a set screw. These are set bolts. Right? And it's what holds them tight is this center bolt. That on the back. Okay, now as you run this in and out, this plate goes in and out. Because the end of this, if you look, is inside of a cup right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so
If you want this plate to come out, you screw these in. Let that sink in a minute. If you want this plate to go in, you screw these out. Now let that sink in a second.
Okay, hold
Think
on.
about that a second.
Now I'm gonna maybe ask a dumb question. So you got a base right here. You got an inlet right here.
Don't think of the bolt. Get the bolt, get this center bolt out of the equation.
Out of the picture.
Just think of this right here. This is just a set nut. All this is to tighten this. Okay? Just think of this right here as a bolt.
I see what you're saying.
Right there. Okay?
So this is locked in, married to this, so it moves this.
This is threaded to this,
Yes.
but not threaded to this.
Yes. Yes.
It's sitting in a cup.
No,
isn't it?
yeah.
Okay? Now you got to think about that. As you screw it in, this plate's going to ride down the bolt. Now.
Ah.
Okay.
Now it makes sense.
Makes sense,
So
yeah.
You got a thread here, you got a cup here. Throw it in. It's like a jack screw. It's like a
You're
jack
right.
screw.
You're exactly. This plate is riding on these bolts, not
Yes.
this outer bolt.
No.
This bolt.
The outer bolt just holds it together.
outer bolt squeezes it together.
Sandwich it together.
These are super fine bolts.
Jack bolts, same thing.
One
You screw
flat.
it in, it goes up.
See how, if you notice, see how everything's flat?
That one's
Or to a
flat.
point.
That one's like that.
You see that? Then, okay, now here, I'm going to tell you why. One flat, that's what we call a flat. One flat is 8,000.
8,000.
So it's very,
Close, give or take. Okay? So it takes, and the reason that is, it takes this bolt so many times to go in. Ron, he's a fucking math genius. He says, okay, so you take that, divide it by this, and then you get this. But it's one flat is 8,000. Okay. All right? And then when they're a little bit off like this is when you're getting shit into the 100,000. I mean, you're moving this thing that much to get it
Dialed in.
and this is what we're going to go through.
Now, when you adjust this, do you look at the spacing? What
Nope,
do you
has
do with
nothing
reference
to do
points?
with that.
What is your reference point?
This
Right here. Okay. That is your reference. Measure the gap. Now you got to measure the gap over here.
Hold on a minute. Let's do this step at a time so we don't all. You ready to go?
yes, sir.
Okay, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to check the shear.
Set the shear.
Shut the shear. Look down the pump. And
Are
right
you-
there it says shear closed.
Oh, shear close. Okay.
Boom. Now your shear's closed.
Okay.
All right. Here's shear cycle. Now watch it. Shear cycle. Open. Shear close. Close. Okay. So when you're doing this manually, you run out of pipe. Boom. Cycle the shear. Ching. Cuts it off. That's all there is to it. Okay. Now normally, when I'm seeing what my gaps are to start, I leave my cylinder hooked up, just so I can do that, okay? Let's gap this bad boy and see where you're at.
So now that it's in closed position, the pump is off. It didn't release it. It just stayed
Close.
closed.
Yeah, like right now, seeing how the pump's off and the pressure's drained,
Yep.
I can grab that and pull it apart.
You can pull. Okay.
Because there's no pressure holding
Got it.
together.
Got it.
That's cool. Okay, so let's go with, let's start out with 200. Just because. It's really, really sticky. It's
Okay,
a little
so-
loose even. See right there, it's tight. Can't get it
Oh.
in. Right here's just a little bit loose.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
So
See,
that's
tight. That's tight.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
tight. Right.
whoa, whoa, whoa. So we need some adjustments.
Yeah, maybe not even there. I don't know. Right there. Now,
That
here's
is
something
cool.
Here's something you got to understand too. This is bolted on to this with these 4 bolts. Now, in between the bolts, there's nothing you can do. You understand that?
Between the bolts, nothing you can do.
What can you do?
Nothing.
I can tighten this corner. I can tighten this corner, and this corner.
Okay. Now remember, we're talking
2000s.
2000 on the age.
now. Let's try this. This has been running. We've been running this thing for quite a while, so it's going to be a little bit.
Getting back in his
But this is something. If I owned this machine, I'd be checking this every morning. But
Because of the 24 gauge.
well, yeah,
Stressing
24
out.
gauge is the hardest shit there is. Now that's 1.5,
1.5, so we're going down.
and see, it won't even hardly go in there. So this here is 1,000 is one. So the 1.5 will not go in it. So this here's at 2. So you're right at the edge.
So this is normal.
Still good.
Yeah,
Still good.
you've been cutting with it. I mean,
Got
you know
it.
what I'm saying? I mean, how many cuts have you guys made today? Look at all the cuts.
Yeah, we made like 15 probably.
Okay. But like I said, now every time you set one of these up, you're going to go about 8 to 10, and it's going to start loosening up because your blades are.
So now that it's loosened up on this side, how do you tighten it?
Okay, let's go into that a little bit. Now, never ever make any adjustments with your blades closed. Never.
No adjustments with blade closed.
Never.
Never.
I never. Here's another thing I gotta tell you. I never make adjustments to this blade, to this whole thing, with this cylinder hooked up.
With the cylinder hooked up. So
Yeah.
disconnect cylinder.
In order to get the cylinder out of there, you gotta take this cylinder off.
Got it.
Okay? And Ron just wanted me to show you guys how to do this.
No, what about a question? What if I just pull this pin and pull the back pin, pull these pins out, and I can remove this?
You know, why would you want to remove that?
Well, if it gets dull, I want to send it in for sharpening.
Really, to be honest with you, you don't need to send this
The
whole thing.
I said you just need the blades.
The blades.
The blades, yeah. These
And
guys
then
right here.
pucks.
And the little pucks. I see that. I got you. The friendly.
This and this are perfectly flat and perfectly
Aligned and everything.
everything.
You just send in the actual blades.
Just the actual blades.
And the
Is
pucks.
what I would do is get a flat piece of cardboard, nice and flat. Maybe put the cardboard on a piece of plywood.
Yep.
Take them blades, put them together and set them on that. Put another piece of cardboard on top with another piece of plywood. Band the shit together and ship it.
Got it. Friendly.
Okay? I forgot where I was going to tell you. Okay, take these off. The reason being, now we're talking 100,000s here, and you saw how tight it was.
It was
right
tight,
there.
yeah.
Now when I go to take this side in, right, to get, let's see, how can I explain this to you? Okay, we've got this flat surface right here, and this blade right here is sitting out here, right?
Yeah, when
There's a
you
little bit of a gap there, right?
push it in.
Okay, so now you're going to take this side of this and you're going to bring it in parallel with this, correct? Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So what's it going to do to this side?
It's gonna want to bring it tighter.
Right. And
Oops.
because these are clear out here. These aren't right here. If it was right here, it would stay the same.
Pivot, yeah.
But these, your pivot's out here.
So that means whatever you do to one side, you gotta counterbalance with the other side.
Kinda, yeah.
Ugh. Wow.
I've taken 8 hours to adjust one of these.
Okay, we're not touching this one.
No,
Wow.
that's what I mean. It's something you guys have got.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
can't be scared of it because this is your machine.
Yeah, yeah.
This is your main. If you don't have this, you ain't got shit.
You ain't got shit. You ain't got your bread and butter.
You're gonna have to get that.
So you just do
bandsaw
a little churn here and reverse churn on this side,
Is
or
what I
vice
like
versa.
to do. Now this is just me.
8 hours, so you spent all day.
Well, that's when I was first starting. It takes me about an hour and a half. To set
Hour and a half.
Yeah. Depending on.
It'll probably take us about an hour.
Depending on what you got going on. You can't say that. When you get a new set of blades in, or when you're starting to get one of the new shears.
Well, like Ron said, if we get new blades, it comes with a plate
Right.
because they have to match.
See, this one's sure and good. Feel that edge right there on the inside. Okay,
yeah.
see how nice and smooth that is? Because what's going to start happening is, as these wear, you're going to start getting more and more of a
Lip.
a lip there,
Like
a burr.
bend, a burr.
Let's call it a burr. Bringing this down, you got to do something with this side because when you go to close this, it's going to be hitting along this edge.
Out of camber, right? Yeah.
So what happens if you overdo it and you close it and you break the
That's
knife?
why you take the cylinder off.
Oh,
You do not.
so
do
you
that
want to,
with the cylinder on.
got it.
Then you're safe. Then you know.
Because you can manually check it.
You can manually bring it down by hand, look at it.
Yeah, because
see
if
where
you
you
over
gotta
tighten
go.
it, you hit the button, you're done.
Yeah. The best way I have found to do it is if you're really super tight like this, like it is right now, and loose on one side, back them off to 3/1000ths. Get 3/1000ths all the way around here. And then start bringing it in nice and slow. Because the gap you're talking there is so fine, you hit that, if you leave that cylinder on there and hit it, you're going to shave
The knife off.
the knife, you know, so.
Yep.
Dude, that's cool. Okay.
Very nice.
There's when you're first setting your blade up, set this in. This cylinder won't be here. Close your blade automatically where it's around your. You're not going to be able to close it all the way because these springs are going to keep you from that. Bring this blade down to there as far. Just shut it as far as you can, and really pay attention to the gap that your blade leaves all the way around it. This is what I was telling you about. It gets one way or another, just and don't want to shear one side. Okay. This is where you look at it. Look in there. Now see, on this, when you bring them down, I wish we don't do that. When you bring that down on there, it should be hitting top and bottom.
Not the sides.
But not that there should be a gap,
Yeah,
like about a 64th or 32nd up both sides. Same exact gap on both sides. Now this is how you tell, like I said, when you go to shear it and only one side's hanging up just a little bit, you look in there and you're gonna see a gap. And here's, see this piece of metal right here, that your backing plate? This piece of metal and that piece of metal are the exact same sticking out of there. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So if you can, you want them shear blades to come in here and be the exact same gap right there. Not up here, right there on that backing plate.
I see.
Okay?
So what happens when a lot of junk falls into here? Does it need to be lubricated or
No,
cleaned?
I've greased these. I put basically solid grease in them. It's one of them things that's up to you. If you guys start noticing so much shit going in there,
That it
things
doesn't
aren't
wanna-
closing, and you're having trouble with it cutting,
Yeah.
stuff like that, sure, take these bolts out right here.
Clean it
You're
out.
going to need to put it in a vise.
Yep.
Because-
Of course, it's like a suspension. It's like a shock.
Oh, fucking these springs in here are pretty stiff. We'll try to squeeze it together.
Yeah, I probably won't.
He's
Oh,
married. He has
Yeah.
a weak grip.
Well, usually they got the right hand. But see, if you can squeeze
oh,
it.
you can do it, yeah.
Okay, so put it in the vise, take these bolts out, release it. It's only going to go about that far. It's not going to blow up on you.
Yeah.
Clean it up with some carburetor cleaner. We use that red cat grease on everything. Okay, that's how Ron taught me how to center the shear. Now, in order to do that, if you start seeing, like, let's just say something came loose and something moved, then you're starting to notice it. It's not shearing on the top, bottom side, whatever. In order to do it, you got to loosen these bolts up, these big bolts. Don't touch your adjustment, just your big bolts. These bolts right here and here. You notice that? You can turn one that way and bring this way. You got to, back and forth, or these top ones are up and down. But these bolts, these tightening bolts, have to be loose to do that.
I see.
Do we need a tool like that to do that, or just?
That's a torque wrench. You're going to need a tool. You're going to need that torque wrench to adjust that shear.
Oh, it's not.
Harbor Freight has them.
What else?
I have the sockets. I don't have that big of a wrench, but I have an impact gun. But you're not going to use an impact gun here.
No, I would use at least I wouldn't use a half inch. I'd use at least 3/4 ones. Or in and out.
Up and down,
In and out.
in and out.
simple.
Simple.
Keep it simple. Keep it as simple as you
Kiss.
can.
I was just gonna say. Yeah, on my
Don't
machine,
overthink it.
all these things were loose on my machine.
Tighten them.
I
You
tightened
didn't
them.
over tighten them.
No, just
We
When
might
this
need to
shit
bleed
goes
them,
in, when this shit's in shipping, it's hard to say no.
especially if they drop them.
You know, if they get dropped, you know, that's not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
Especially when you got to rebuild the damn thing.
Well, it keeps you guys busy though.
Yeah. Okay, please ask some questions. Please.
Yeah.
Like
So-
I said, now if you look behind here, you can see the head of that pup. Where that nut is.
Yep.
Keep an eye on that. So here's what's going to happen. You guys are going to come in and it's going to be shearing nice, and a week later it's not going to be shearing as good. And you're going to come over here and you're going to adjust your down, your clothes. I mean, that's the first thing everybody does. I can make that cut. It's not cutting over here so much, so let's make it smaller and it'll cut. Okay, it will. Now you remember what them pucks them look like, right?
Yeah.
Remember how far you could close that, and that was 0. So it ain't gonna go no more. Okay, so you keep on adjusting this, making it tighter and tighter. What's gonna happen?
You're gonna-
snap this off. This is
not only that, you're gonna jam your
nice.
knives together.
Well, you know that back round thing I was showing you, that
Yeah.
hardened steel?
It's gonna flatten
You're
out.
gonna pop them off,
Ooh.
and that bolt's gonna go ping. And now you're not gonna have no shear.
So never adjust this guy.
You can adjust it,
But you
but
gotta-
you better, the smartest thing, like I was trying to tell you earlier, get one person to do this. And then you're not outguessing him, he's not outguessing you. You know where you set that, you don't.
You know, at Intel, we had one guy doing the job, the other guy with a buddy check, watching
There you
like a
go.
hawk, and checking it off with the manual and the procedure, the specs. One guy does the work, the other guy does the check.
A good rule of thumb
You know,
is, well, have some gappage right here. Okay, that's a pretty good rule of thumb.
Have a gap.
Have
About
a gap.
16.
If it's up tight against there, you're too tight.
You're too
Back
tight.
it off. I'm not going to tell you if you put that all the way up tight, it's going to do it, but you're getting in the danger zone. Okay?
You get into the red zone.
Get you some gap here. If you have to, make adjustments on your shear. Make your shear cut the way it's supposed to. Don't make your shear cut right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do your shear right, then you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Hopefully with our aluminum, we shouldn't have to worry about it for a while. Well,
But, you know, here's another thing you need to think about too. How many elbows are you guys going to be making in an hour?
A lot.
So this son of a bitch is going to be running.
Hot core.
It's going to be hot. What does heat do?
expand.
What does expand do? Just to
Hydrolock?
nuts and bolts. Expanding to nuts and bolts. Make shit loose.
Well, that's you gotta spray some oil.
Well, if you run this hot enough to make these bolts expand and retract, they're going to come loose sooner or later.
So how many elbows should be topped?
I couldn't tell you.
1,000 elbows per day?
Ron about it. All I do is build this shit, man. I don't run it. Ron can tell you all that.
You can run as much as you want. You just gotta have proper lubrication and no debris.
You got to take care of stuff. It's just
Yeah.
like buying a Lamborghini, man. You're not going to buy a Lamborghini and park it outside. You know, you just got to take care of stuff.
We'll let everybody rent it out from you.
You know?
You gotta run it your own self.
But like I said, if you could get a maintenance schedule, I'm sure you guys maintenance all your other machines.
Trucks and everything.
Greasing, oil change, same thing, man.
So do you have a B die or?
Are you guys happy with the shear?
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're
think-
happy with the shear, we'll move on.
I understand everything here. We're good.
we're good.
Solid. You good?
Okay.
I think you missed half of it, but
Yeah,
me and Tony, we got this left.
Well, I made a video, yeah. So the A and B die different.
Yep.
So once you put this in, this is not adjustable. This is just bolts in, it's centered, you're done. No adjustment needed.
See, it's got dowel pins on it, so
Okay.
it's self-centering.
So are you putting the A back in?
This is your expansion plate. This has got to go in with both dies. No matter what you do, this has got to go in because it's what makes your shear.
So
work.
A or B, this is the same thing.
Yeah.
That's expansion, yeah.
That just
This is just for your shear. This
it
is
just
all this is for.
pops it off the shear.
Yeah. Let me show you. Take a look at that.
It gives you that expansion gap. So when it crimps, it squishes. It gives it, see like, it gives the crimp right here.
Okay, put your camera right here where you can see all the way around that.
See that? Oh, the gap is tight like a tiger.
You see what it did? The gap in your shear is all the way around that now.
And you're not doling up the blades running it like this?
It's not running into it. There's 100. If you remember right when I showed you them blades, there's a flat. The actual blade is flat where it cuts. It's flat, and that's where that is right now. Against it. The actual cutting is in between the two pieces of metal.
Now, it compressed this more than it compressed this. So
You want your top the hardest because of your seam. Your top's going to push down more to get through the seam.
okay, I'm glad I noticed it because you got about what 1/16 of an inch over here, and this is tight like a tiger on top. Okay, makes sense.
Now a lot of this too, you guys got to understand, it's going to be a trial and error thing. You guys are going to have to figure out, okay, I need to do this to make it do this, or, you know what I mean? It's like anything, there's got an adjustment to it. You got to learn the machine. See how that's
Only 3 sides.
See how it's angled right there?
Yep.
There's only 3 sides to it.
Okay.
Okay? And there's your relief.
Really top.
Goes on top.
Top.
Okay.
That's all there is to it.
Okay.
Dude, you make it seem so simple. I wish I had an instructor like this in my college days.
I've been in the Marine Corps. And they teach you.
Down to business, no bullshit.
Keep it simple, people.
Keep it
Let's
simple.
put this back on.
So B2
B1.
or B1.
This is a B1 blade.
This is B1.
So is it gonna go like this?
No. Flip it around.
Oh.
180. Like
Where's your relief now?
Relief at the top. Right here. So it's always gonna go like this.
yeah.
Nothing's going to happen on this side of your metal.
Got it. It's not gonna crimp it.
Look at your blades.
Okay, so there's only one way of installing
Of
it.
course.
Look at your blades. They're going to sit in there like that.
Got it.
Nothing's happening over here.
Nothing's happening. Okay.
Dude, this is good.
Okay, on your, you guys need to pay attention to this too. When you're looking at these, damn, I did this. Look at your elbow plates. See this one right here, and the top and the bottom appear to be out toward us. Okay, now look at that. The top blade and the bottom blade are on top of the side blades. Okay, see that right there? See how the side blades are underneath it? That's very important. Because when we go to B's, now your side blade's on front. And your top and bottom's at the back. Can you see that?
Yeah.
You've got to be able to see it.
Yeah, of course.
Please tell me that you see it.
100%. I see that.
Okay, do you want to see that?
So the side blade, you see how it's on top of the up and the bottom blade.
Right here.
Yep.
It's on top.
It's on top.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
Okay, so now let me give you a little thing to think about. Any way this pipe bends, them blades are out front.
Yeah.
Whichever way it bends, them blades are out front. These A elbows bend down or bend up, correct?
Makes
sense.
The blades are in front.
Yep.
The B elbow is going to bend that way, the blades out front. Okay? Makes sense.
Makes sense.
All right.
So it only goes down or up. It don't bend this way or this way. Because this is the on the outside. This is
Now that's
further
an
out.
A elbow.
That's an A elbow.
Now let's do a B. Let's get rid of all this.
You want to close it? So right there, space.
Oh, no, I can't. It's all the way open right now.
Them are all, that's open as far as it can go.
So we're basically back to square one how we started. We're at the A elbows.
We're right where you guys
Okay,
left off.
got
Okay?
it. Okay,
Now we're gonna go to B's.
okay. Let's go to B's.
We have to inspect the shear and look at the shear, how the shear works. Now we're
Okay, now the next question you're gonna ask is, well, how do you get a blade to be out further than the other blades? I'm pretty sure you guys know how to do that. You gotta know how to do that.
Flip the blade over or something. I don't know.
no, there's a spacer.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Spacer. Remove the spacer.
Do not lose the spacer.
Do not lose the spacer.
Another thing you're gonna notice is the spacer bolts are a little longer than the non-spacer bolts.
Okay, different screws, different spacing,
Screws, bolts.
bolts.
We got the wheelies today. Oh, no, never mind. False
I
alarm.
like this shit really tight and wrong down there. I don't like shit to move when it's not supposed to move.
Yeah.
So are you the one flying out usually or Ron?
No, Alex.
Alex?
Yeah, he's back there welding right now. I
Oh.
don't deal with people like that. I'm surprised I'm doing this with you guys.
So how often do you guys do training?
This is
Yeah.
the first training I've been on. This
Really?
is the second I've seen. The first training I saw was for ourselves.
So we're like very special.
I don't know. I've only been here going on 3 years.
Grease,
Everything-
grease, grease. Okay. Now these move up and down a little bit. I just saw them drop.
Yes. We'll get to that when we go
So we'll have
to
to
setup.
center them or something.
Kinda. Yep. That's why you get them papers in there. Them little papers are very, very valuable for you guys. See, there's the shorter screws for the non-spacers.
So we're removing the front and the back plate, everything.
All 4 blades.
All 4 blades. Goodbye.
A has nothing to do with B. Nothing at all to do with B.
So the shorter. I'm hungry. Yeah. Where do you guys usually go?
What do you like?
Do you guys
what do
have-
you want? How long are you going to be
Do
gone?
you guys have Thai food, sushi?
You guys out.
How about Arby's or Burger King or I don't know. We've got
They're all marked.
they're all different numbers. Okay. 25, 125B, 126A, 003. Okay. So when you guys go to order them, you say you want a 126A, revised A. Okay, so you put your short bolts, your singles. And when I'm setting them up, I just center them pretty good and snug them. You don't have to be super tight yet.
He's got a lot of play in there.
Yeah.
Like a bunch. So this machine, you already have the measurements, right?
Yeah.
That you'll read off and
Yep.
set it.
Yes, sir. That's what I mean. That piece of paper over there. To you
Yep,
guys is
yep,
Very,
yep.
very valuable.
Without that, you have to start over.
Yeah, and it sucks.
Sucks. 3 years.
No, well, you're starting from zero. Where do you start?
Yeah.
Don't think about it. Where do you, as much Ron's told you about this and what little bit I've told you about this, 100 thousandths makes all the difference in the world sometimes. And if you're starting completely over with no idea of where you're at, why,
Well, if you got hands up your ass, of course you're gonna not know where you start. But
Well, you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. I have met some people that don't know what a oil plug is or
Right.
Like,
So,
It's that common sense.
yes, indeed.
so you only put it where the blade's gonna be moving.
Right. Yeah.
You don't want to get the
Okay,
whole
so
thing
you
dirty.
got this, and that's going on that way. And this flat part goes to the back of the blade. Okay.
Flat part to the back of the blade.
Yeah. See how
You
it's
need to bring it forward.
notched?
Uh-huh.
That flat part goes against the back of the blade.
So basically, what that spacer does, it brings it forward of the other blade,
Yep.
and that's what the diagram was showing.
Yep,
Yep.
exactly. Goes on top.
This is for elbow B on top.
Correct.
So right now you're just centering it. You're
Yeah, I'm
not.
just kind of getting it somewhere to work with it.
Just a lucky guess.
Yeah.
So he's shooting
'Cause I'm gonna move it again.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, we need to print out the measurements for A and B. Well, no, for our machine, yeah.
Do you laminate? Put it right next to it.
Laminate it, put it next
You
to the
guys
machine.
got this book?
Yeah.
There they are.
Yes, sir.
There they are. Okay, so now the fun part begins.
The fun part.
Can you see how to read these?
Yeah.
Okay, this measurement right here, 1.595,
Yep.
is measuring from the top of that to that right there. You see that?
Oh, right here. Look at that. So
That's the width of your blade.
Yep. Yep.
See how that line comes down to the edge of your blade?
Mm-hmm.
And this line comes down to the block,
Mm-hmm.
this backing that we screwed these onto.
Uh-huh.
Okay, can you see that back there?
Yep, I see it.
Okay, that's what you're measuring.
From that to the plate here.
Right here.
Okay, from right there.
To right here.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Okay. Now the secret to this is you do them all on the same side of what these measurements are. Don't be coming over here and measuring it when it tells you to measure this side.
Okay.
Don't be measuring your dies on this side when it tells you to do it on this side. Because everything will be different. Okay? So do it just like the picture shows you.
Do it
And
in
everything
order.
will be awesome. Okay?
Okay. Let's follow your
The way I
guide.
do it.
So we need a tool like this.
I have.
We have a bunch of these as well, I think.
You gotta have it, especially with the engine rebuild. Space the valves.
So you're gonna set it to
I'm gonna
1595.
set it to 1595.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
All right.
Now, here's the next thing.
Next step.
Whenever you do these, now you remember when the pump comes on, that brings on the pressure, it activates all
Yep.
the cylinders, correct? So watch that top cylinder. Didn't move that time. Now if you turn that, it's going to free up the cylinder and it's going to fall without the pressure on. You never take measurements on these cylinders without pressure. And that
So-
makes sure you're dead all the way out.
So measure
You know
while it's
exactly.
pressurized.
And measure while it's pressurized.
So now it's
While
pressurized.
it's pressurized, you know your cylinders and everything's all the way up. And see, we need to drop that down just a little bit. So what I do is grab it. Let me see, it's 7/8. Now, this is another reason why I don't use the wrench on the engine. Loosen it up a little bit, loosen up the jam nut. There's still 1595, 1595. Bring that in there. Okay, we're gonna make it longer, so we're gonna loosen this.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, watch this. I want to show you this, just so you know. Okay, pressure's off, right?
Pressure's off.
One turn.
Whoa.
Okay,
Whoa, 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 whoa. That's not good.
so now you shut off the pressure and you go do all these adjustments, right? And then you turn the pressure back on. Watch what happens. Now you got to go back and do all the measurements again.
Actually, it's pressurized.
And that's pretty freaking close right there. I mean, another thing you got to understand, these measurements are really close ballpark.
When it's cold.
When it's cold,
They will expand.
I bring it to where it just feels good. You know what I mean? It's,
You don't want to be gorilla tight.
now feel that.
What about this?
Wiggle it around. Feel it? Now watch. If I go one this way,
Too loose.
see how loose it is?
Yeah, it's no good.
I bring it too much that way. A little bit too tight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's getting tight.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
When I was doing bearings in the mine, one person did the bearings too. He was the one that could feel with his
So we just
gauge.
said that, but we didn't do anything here. Not there yet. Okay.
Still going strong.
Dang. Okay.
We got two more to adjust.
This takes a little time. And if you rush people on this is where the mistakes screw you the worst. So loosen this up a little bit. Come to this measurement right here, 0.721.
That's the second side. 0.721.
Zero your calipers. 0.721. Okay, come in right here. See, look down there, you can see where your blade is. See your blade moving?
Mm-hmm.
See the back part where your blade mount is there?
Yep.
Lay this right in there.
Boom.
Put your finger on it, get a little bit of tension. Push it right over to there. You're there.
Oh, that's easy.
Okay. So you just set in the.
You're
Gauge.
setting your whip. I like to take and put my wrench on here. Put my finger on here, hold a little bit of tension against it. Push it over.
So you gotta have that tool, 100%.
Got to have it.
I have a Japanese one. I bought it from Japan. When I was in Japan.
Harbor
Is it
Freight.
digital?
Yeah.
Harbor Freight.
I have. Well, when I worked at Intel,
Let's go to the
I
next
have
one.
all Japanese tools. High
Go to
caliber
the next
tools.
one. We're at turn the machine on 1.641.
You have to roll every day. This is what I used to do at Intel. You should set tools, upgrade tools, modify tools. This is
1.641. Okay, same thing.
About so. Yeah, let's do it. Where do you guys want to go? You want to go with us? You want to go with us? We'll pay for you. Lunch is on.
If you guys are good with this, how you set it up and everything, while you guys are eating, I'll go ahead and get it done set up, and then come back and run a BL ball. You want to do that, or?
How long will-
It's gonna be gone for quite a while, so it's no big deal.
So now you're doing the same measurement.
Just go to the second measurement over here. Same thing. Do the exact
Gap.
same thing. Do your gap, and then bring
So it's
your,
from here to
from
the
this flat spot right here to right here.
beginning of the shear, right?
Yeah.
No, right here, brother.
Yeah, from there to here.
No,
No.
no, brother. Look at the diagram. It's from here to the flat spot right here.
Oh, this.
So you're sealing. That's your
your cylinder.
depth in. Now your blade up and down
is the
right
gap
here. You're going to be measuring the side of your blade.
from the bottom.
Side of your blade. Look up. You got to look up under here. Side of your blade right here to this part that it mounts to.
Yeah, right here. These two sections right here. So here, I'll show them real quick. So this one's gonna go something like this. So for instance, you're gonna go like this.
Yeah, bring it right in next to that.
Yep,
until you
okay.
take it up
See that?
here.
So you're gonna release this eventually. So this one will go like this. Oh, let me release one a little more.
What are you doing right now? Elbow B?
I'm just checking to make sure it's set up for what I have over here.
Got it.
Okay. Calibration required. When I calibrate, I like to have a little bit more material.
They're cold, they're sitting by the heater, 3 of them. So much money, it's unbelievable.
Oops. I just want to make one.
No comment.
Okay, here there's less gap in here, more gap in here.
Exactly.
Ah, I know.
You don't understand, do you?
Now I do. You know why? I'll show you. So the one that goes in more is on the inside. Because that's the inside corner. You need more cramp on this side.
You need more crimp on this side.
Yes.
Because you've got the seam there.
The seam, I got
This
you.
has no seam.
No seam. Comprende.
So it takes less material
I just got it.
to fold, this,
yeah.
that side than this side.
It makes sense. It needs
Okay.
more pressure to bring it back to tolerance.
Yes.
So we're gonna increase that
Well,
pressure.
now here's where I'm going to show you a few things. This come out of this machine this way. Okay. I'm looking at it, and this corner pulled up higher than this corner. Okay. But the elbow is fairly straight, so I look at it this way, and I see which corners are pulled. Okay. The corner that's pulling the hardest is the one that's bending the most material.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have either got to relieve
Pressure.
the material that goes into the die on this corner,
Uh-huh.
or I've got to increase the material that goes
On this
into the
side.
die on that corner.
I see.
Okay? So that's the way you kind of read this. I
Yeah,
mean,
look at it.
this is usable, but
So you can do half adjustments?
Look at it, that's zooming out.
so I am either
Release.
I'm either going to take some out of this corner, or I'm going to put some into this corner. Now the way I'm going to do that,
I like the releasing. Me personally, and from a technical standpoint, if this corner looks good, why add more pressure? That's wear and tear. Release a little bit on this side and equal it out.
okay?
That's my
That's a good thought.
less wear and tear on the machine from a technical
So
standpoint.
the first thing I do is kind of check to see if the elbow is the right angle.
Oh.
Now look, it's a little bit overbent.
Ooh, so we need to release.
Not much. It's still all right.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
these things adjust
Yeah, they
all over
fluctuate,
the
yeah.
place, okay?
So we need one of these as well to check our
Well, yeah, any protractor.
protractor, yeah.
That you can set to 75 degrees, you know. Let's see. Okay. So now that tells me that
Dimitri's correct, and we
if
need
I-
to release
If I
pressure.
put more in this corner, now it's going to become even more.
Even more.
Right?
Yeah, we need to open it up. A
So
little.
I need to bring this out on this corner.
Amen to that.
All right.
I do see a lot of
So. I'm going to take and move this die that way just a little bit.
tiny bit.
Just a little bit?
Just a little bit.
So now we're changing our.
Or I'm going to take and move this die up just a little bit. Maybe we'll try that.
So now we might have to change our manual.
Then once you get it, you can
Update the manual.
put a new setup sheet in.
New setup sheet, yeah.
But then again, next time you set it up,
It could be wrong, yeah.
it could be wrong. So the setup sheet gets you close. And didn't want to move it that much. I think right there.
So you just make one elbow, look at it, make an adjustment, make another elbow.
Yeah. Much better, huh?
Wow.
Well, only takes a tiny bit.
Wow.
The top one bends over this way. Whichever the top one, that's so on the A,
Yeah,
this one's
so
on the
you
outside.
consider this the top, right?
Yeah,
Okay, top always goes on
on
the outside.
Amen. That's correct. And
No
same
matter
thing
which
with this
elbow.
one. If you got these two on top, then it's gonna go either bend this way
Yep.
or this way.
Yep.
Makes sense.
It's straight. It's good.
Spoilers when the material doesn't quite sit flush on that entry guide. It looks like it's a little bit higher here than it is here. So I just kind of
More gap here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty good. I like to kind of
Give it a little,
give it a little.
just a little bit.
Okay, so now, if you can move it in. Still a little bit off. Maybe a tiny bit more.
Yeah.
Pretty close, just a tiny bit more, and I think it'll be good.
You know, you guys are going to have to
Perfect.
just practice with the machine, play with it, and see how it reacts. All ready?
So now it's
Here's green light on auto.
so green. Oh, payload. The thing is not locked here. Is it gonna work?
Yeah,
No, because it's not locked.
it don't matter.
It don't matter.
It don't matter.
How's that possible? Because this is supposed to be on
That's fine,
position.
leave it.
Really?
If you don't go in, you have to go in one way. So he manually turned it. And
Ah, he
swapped the wire.
override the.
Around the seat.
Ah.
I used to do that too.
Uh-huh. I mean, Lincoln red and green.
I think that's because we have a low roll material. I'm going to show you what that is.
Low roll material.
Yes. I'm going to log out of my login.
Is this connected to the internet?
Okay. We haven't gone over that yet.
Okay.
Let's see. How do I do this?
Might need to clear codes, maybe.
Yeah. I just want to. I want to log out. How the fuck do I log out?
You just put it here, you log out.
Save manual English.
Well, log out is you exit the door. No?
No. Maybe
Log
let's
off,
do that.
log off.
Log off.
There it is.
Okay.
Now you're in guest mode. Okay.
Okay. User guest. You can't. It's just the operator. Okay.
It's already set.
Okay. If you need to log in, you hit the keys.
And now you have full access to the
Now you got
computer.
to put in admin, A-D-M-I-N.
You can change the password too.
You can.
That's good.
Then once you change it, you better keep it because
Yeah.
You lose it.
You lose it, you're screwed. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's tough.
Yeah, I figured it would be.
I don't think nobody can guess that.
Say okay. Wait a few seconds here.
Yeah, you want to lock it up for if this is production and guy working
Now,
operating.
you have a new admin.
To see how much you made, or something.
You have an admin page here that just came up.
Also, another pay by the hour. You pay by the
In here. The first page, it's going to tell you that you need to do crimp maintenance, shear maintenance, or servo maintenance after this many cycles.
Whoa.
Once it does that many cycles, there's going to be a thing flash up on your
Oh, that's
screen
cool.
that says maintenance
It's
required.
like a oil change in the car.
Yeah. If that flashes up, you go into admin, you say crimp maintenance done,
It'll reset the
shear
clock.
maintenance done. Yeah, and it resets the counter, see?
180,000 feet.
Okay. That's the first page in your admin section. This page is what
1,800 boxes, 2 years. For the more.
we have a section in here where you can set, if you're running a lot of different materials, and one of them is steel, one of them is aluminum, you may want to have different settings
Custom
for
settings.
those parts. Okay? This is your elbow in time. That's how much time the machine is giving that cylinder to go in and compress that elbow. This is in milliseconds.
Quarter of a second.
Quarter of a second. It's different for the A and it's different for the B.
The B is longer, so it needs more time.
Usually, yes.
I'm so smart.
Your elbow open time usually stays the same because that's the shortest time you can have those cylinders activated to open before it moves. If that time gets too short, the machine's going to run before those knife blades get out, and you're going to have a mess.
Ooh. So never mess with that number.
Well, you may need to increase it at one time.
But
or
the
something.
minimum is-
don't go under that. This is how fast your machine excels, how fast your machine decells. You can control that.
So it's
There's
set
a
to
range.
100%.
It's a little bit, above C, 0.090. So you have some time delay between those
Yeah.
cycles.
So you have XL and decel in lead and post bend feed rates. That means that's how fast the machine's going to go before it makes the first bend and how fast it goes after the last bend. Okay? And you have a range of how fast that goes here, between 1 and 22 inches a second. Now, when you're making an elbow, the moves are only 1 inch. There's never any way in the world it's ever going to get up to 22 inches a minute. But 22 inches a second, is how fast your downspout will run.
That's
Okay.
pretty fast, yeah.
So you could have these settings for different materials, and you can name those
So for
materials.
steel, you want to slow it down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or thicker
So the
aluminum.
material
slow down.
too, that's
Do we have those measurements in our manual?
No,
But we can get a copy of
no.
this one,
You're just going to have to set them.
just like a little bit slower.
Yeah.
This one
Whatever
is
it
for steel.
takes. This is steel.
This one's steel, so I got the steel then.
So I want to load
So aluminum goes even
material
faster.
1. Load. So all those settings can be separate. Now, what this also affects is all your elbow settings. How many crimps, what the spacing is, how long your lead and trail distance is. You can have those different for every type, for each material. All your time settings.
So whatever you set for the downspout,
Whatever
will,
you set-
will follow the elbow.
Whatever material you set, it's going to use whatever parameters were set for that particular material, for elbows and everything else.
As long as you select that material.
And as long as when you set it up, you save it.
Save it.
You can name it whatever you want right there.
Okay. Well, this one, you don't need to change it. It's fine.
Okay, next. This screen is your settings page. Very similar to this settings page, except you're only allowed to change your jog speed, your accel decel, and your material. And enable or de-enable your decoiler. I mean, not decoiler, but encoder. Let's say, for some reason, the encoder that's running on the material, which
It's not reading correctly or
is
something.
down here, and it goes out,
That's happened to our smart machine.
okay?
The little thing,
Yeah.
the spring, something gave way.
You can disable that encoder, and the machine will work off the encoder on the motor.
Okay.
It won't be as accurate, but you'll still be able to do product.
Until the new encoder shows up.
Yeah. Okay.
That's good to know. So you can disable, enable encoder.
That's even that's with it, not in admin. That's here. That's right here.
Just regular settings.
In admin, you can control all of it. So now you can change. I wouldn't worry about this shear to reverse move. Always stays 0. Shear to elbow distance. That is the distance between your shear and where your elbow blades are. So it knows where to set that material to 0. Okay? Down here is timing for your crimper. If you need more time in to get it crimped, you can add some onto that. Here's your shear close and open time. That's for the shear cylinder. This is manual elbow timing. Remember when I was doing the manual elbow? And
Yeah, one at a time.
that's the timing that's set in that. Okay. Now, let's see. Where the hell is it? Oh, fuck. I am looking for This page shows you if you've got mains power to the machine, if it's okay, if it's enabled or faulted. Also gives you an encoder position.
0, 0.
It's right 0 because it's calibrated right now. It says E-stop okay, means it's out and it's reset.
Okay.
It's on
So,
there.
so
And these are the inputs and outputs from the PLC. So now if something goes wrong, you can go in here and say, oh, you know, my problem is one of these blades are closed and they should be open, or if you're troubleshooting things. You can see right now it's blinking the green light and the red light. This is a monitor of the outputs and inputs on the PLC. It's just used for diagnostics. If you run into something, we can look at this and say, oh, you know, this is what's happening. And
so what's
it'll also tell you the HMI version, the PLC version, and if there are any errors, it's going to tell you. Those are going to show up here too.
So what is low roll material?
Oh, we never got to that, did we?
Low roll material. 'Cause
that must be. Oh, machine history.
so far you used 400 feet.
404 feet on this machine so far.
That's based on the encoder or the motor.
Yeah, it's based
Which-
on the
which-
encoder.
The encoder counts, huh? Not the motor.
This is lifetime. These are resettable.
Okay.
So let's say you want to come in here and say, oh, you know, seems like I've had problems with the shear at, you know, 1,000 cycles. You can check on it and see and say, oh, you know, maybe we should go in there and clean that shear out. Then you can reset these. You can reset those counters. Okay? This is the low roll life counter. If you know how many feet are in that roll,
Okay.
you can put that in here.
Type it in there. When does it start counting? When, as soon as it hits the encounter or the beginning of the machine?
As soon as it hits this encoder.
Encoder. Okay, so
So, you see why it's on? Because it was set at 400 feet.
and we're already
We
at
already ran
404.
404.
Okay, got it. Got it.
All it's doing is warning you that it's going to
Yeah,
warn you
materials
25
come
feet before the end of that roll.
Got it.
Okay?
And we've already passed that.
Yeah, and you can just hit new roll, takes that away.
So we're back to 400.
Yep. You can tell it how long before the roll runs out to warn you, and how many feet are on the.
So when it runs out of material, basically the encoder is not going to count. It's not going to make any more elbows. They're just going to shut it down.
Yep. And I would not make elbows. You need to drive.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's nothing in this one right now.
That's good.
This keeps track of anything that the machine does. Okay?
Okay.
So it reports errors, it reports things that have been done.
Okay.
I don't know how long, I think these can carry up to like a month or so of diagnostics. But sometimes if you're having problems, you can send us a picture of this screen. We can see what has been happening between that and this page. Usually we can help you.
These two
Yep.
screens. But you can see that through the internet as well, right? This,
We can. It's easier for you to send us a picture.
Send a picture.
I think that should look like this, all green, once you reset it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just safety.
Yep. This is a time delay so that the screen boots up after the drive starts to boot up,
Okay.
just to keep them a little bit separate.
Variable drive.
This is a 24 volt power supply. This is the contactor that runs your hydraulic pump. This is the contactor for the mains power to the drive. Okay? Your power goes in up there.
What about the little guy? What does this one does?
That is an overload.
Okay.
So that if that pump starts drawing too much amperage, it's going to trip here. And you can reset it with the blue button. Okay?
So we're running
These-
480 volts here.
480. But everything in here runs off 24 volts DC. Except for the drive, which is 480 volts. These fuses are for the pump.
So you're touching all this stuff. It's fine.
That's right.
Yeah. These fuses are for the pump. Let's see. I believe these fuses are for power going to the drive. And these three are for power going to your 24 volt power supply. Then after that, there's breakers for all the different 24 volts areas that the 24 volt is distributed to. You've got a full schematic in your manual. Everything should be labeled so that if you wire comes
Is that a
loose,
gray
whatever.
fuse box or that's the contactor block?
These are
The gray one right there, yeah.
these. They're simply connectors.
Connector, okay.
Connects this wire to this wire.
There's no fuse in the middle?
Nope. That's because a lot of these wires come from the console. If we need to dewire it, just pop them out, pop them back in here. There's some in the console too. Have you wired that up?
No. Not yet. Not the computer. Dimitri.
wiring that up?
Oh, Dimitri.
Dimitri?
Yeah.
All right. I'll show you that. Anyway, that's pretty much it in here. Your TOSI box is there. That connects this machine to the internet. We are the only ones that can get access to it. We can only access one machine at a time. We go into there. Your company name and stuff is in there, so we know which one it is, which machine it is, so we can go in and look at it and compare the problems.
Okay.
Okay?
The biggest thing you gotta be in.
Remember, I had left the machine in auto, so if I go to the admin page,
Don't have it.
I don't have calibrate encoder because it's in auto.
Okay, so you gotta go to manual.
So you got to go to manual, turn auto off,
Turn auto off.
Admin.
go back into your admin,
Next. Next.
and there's calibrate encoder wheel.
That's what we're looking for. So when do we engage that? Every
When
time?
if your links are not coming out correct,
Like tail
I'm not
end
going to
or
go
the lead
through
end.
this,
Sure,
but I'll
sure.
tell you exactly how it works.
Okay.
If you hit that, it's going to come up with a screen, and it's going to tell you, it's going to cycle the shear, and it's going to run out 100 inches of material, and then cut it off. Then it's going to say,
Measure it.
measure it. Whatever you measure,
Input it.
that's what you want to put in, and it'll correct the calculations for that encoder.
Okay.
So
Gutter machine has that too.
once you do that, it takes, don't get worried, it takes a little bit for the computer to go through those calculations and rewrite them.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, watch your head, Dima.
I know. Hold on. Setting it in.
Are those steel?
Yeah.
Whoa. That is fast.
Watch yourself.
Go ahead.
It's going to be 6 foot long.
6 foot long. Let's go. Wow.
There's only one motor that has to turn the right direction.
Okay.
The servo drive doesn't care which way it's going. But this motor does. Okay? So what you want to do is put power to it. Remember that relay that has the
Yes. Inside.
overload on it?
Up above it. That's the motor for this.
Yeah. Just have somebody back here take this cover off.
Or the back, you can look at the fan blades. If you.
Well,
is that gonna remove?
yeah, there's a cooler that's covering up those fan blades. But if you go take this one screw out, just coupling in here, have somebody just
Yes.
punch that contactor.
Make sure it's going the right direction.
Make sure this is going the right direction.
That's
because if you
important.
don't,
You gotta switch the
it
blades.
burns the pump up. Because it's going the wrong way.
Okay.
Okay?
Now, is there a preference?
So where's that relay button?
I know what to follow.
Okay, follow you real quick. I want to get on the same video.
Okay, here it is.
It's in here?
Relay, yep, it's in here. So right here, here's your overload. Right here. So you bop it. Right there.
Right there. That's all
Wow.
you have to do. Now somebody
And
do that.
And that's
Now
it.
somebody watches and sees what direction that
Rotate. Easy.
So why would it rotate a different direction?
Because if your leads are swapped, it's a three-phase. So
you switch two legs of those three phases, it'll run
if you,
backwards.
so
You're
any,
talking about
no. So you got your power coming in right here. So any of those three, if you swap in different order, it'll run the other way. Any leg swap, it'll run the other way.
okay. So
So he has a black, red, white, but it could be
this guy, I call him the massager.
This page shows you if you've got mains power to the machine, if it's okay, if it's enabled or faulted. Also gives you an encoder position.
0, 0.
It's right 0 because it's calibrated right now. It says e-stop okay, means it's out and it's reset.
Okay.
It's on
So
there.
so
And these are the inputs and outputs from the PLC. So now if something goes wrong, you can go in here and say, oh, you know, my problem is one of these blades are closed and they should be open, or if you're troubleshooting things. You can see right now it's blinking the green light and the red light. This is a monitor of the outputs and inputs on the PLC. It's just used for diagnostics. If you run into something, we can look at this and say, oh, you know, this is what's happening. And
so what's
it'll also tell you the HMI version, the PLC version, and if there are any errors, it's going to tell you. Those are going to show up here too.
so what is low roll material?
Oh, we never got to that, did we?
Low roll material. 'Cause
That must be, oh, machine history.
so far you used 400 feet.
404 feet on this machine so far.
That's based on the encoder or the motor.
Yeah, it's based
Which-
on the
which-
encoder.
The encoder counts, huh? Not the motor.
This is lifetime. These are resettable.
Okay.
So let's say you want to come in here and say, oh, you know, seems like I've had problems with the shear at, you know, 1,000 cycles. You can check on it and see and say, oh, you know, maybe we should go in there and clean that shear out. Then you can reset these. You can reset those counters. Okay? This is the low roll life counter. If you know how many feet are in that roll,
Okay.
you can put that in here.
Type it in there. When does it start counting? When, as soon as it hits the encoder or the beginning of the machine?
As soon as it hits this encoder.
Encoder. Okay, so
So, you see why it's on? Because it was set at 400 feet.
and we're already
We
at
already ran
404.
404.
Okay, got it.
All it's doing is warning you that it's going to
Yeah,
warn you
materials
25
come
feet before the end of that roll.
Got it.
Okay?
And we've already passed that.
Yeah, and you can just hit new roll, takes that away.
So we're back to 400.
Yep. You can tell it how long before the roll runs out to warn you, and how many feet are on the.
So when it runs out of material, basically the encoder is not going to count. It's not going to make any more elbows. They're just going to shut it down.
Yep. And I would not make elbows. You need to drive these back rolls.